Today is a day to recognize the historical and cultural significance Indigenous peoples have in our region.
News 19's Crystal Flintrop has the story and takes us to the Indigenous Peoples Day celebration at the Crosse Center.
The second Monday of October recognizes the resilience of First Nations, and it's a day of visibility, showing the significance of their tribal sovereignty, cultures, and histories.
Indigenous Peoples Day today is essentially a punctuation mark of a long-standing effort to correct one part of history, which we once knew as Columbus Day. A lot of history has happened in terms of our ancestors and our older relatives who have worked against miseducated institutions to correct history and finally be recognized as Indigenous Peoples Day.
In La Crosse, Indigenous Peoples Day was celebrated through a day full of education and events.
We do have Ho-Chunk exhibit dancers that normally people will see at a powwow. We also have the Monarch Hmong dancers here because they are also Indigenous even though we're not on their land. We have vendors here with lots of different jewelry, clothing, all kinds of things to purchase. We also have interactive activities, making mini moccasins, learning our game of Crosse, which is a dice game, and also our moccasin game.
Through the sharing of cultures, it's a chance to highlight the progress made in recent years.
Growing up, I didn't see a lot of folks in elected leadership who look like me. And so now, right, my daughter is growing up in a completely different reality, and so are these young people. So the potential, I think, for our young people to see themselves reflected in leadership, it's an incredibly powerful moment.
And for a chance to recognize what can still be done.
We have to teach the teachers. We have to have more venues where our accurate and authentic educators in Indian country are working with the greater majority, and they're accepting the fact that there may be different forms of education. This is where it all begins. Make sure that we are teaching our children accurate and authentic information about Indigenous people and their cultures.
In La Crosse, I'm Crystal Flintrop, News 19.
Thanks, Crystal. There was also a lacrosse tournament that took place in Riverside Park.
And it's the second year that the traditional game has been played on the waterfront here in La Crosse in more than 200 years.